What's up, guys? So, on State of the Culture, they had an interesting conversation regarding snitching, and the Tekashi 6ix9ine case. So, I think y'all already know, but Tekashi 6ix9ine is on trial now, and he was looking at a 47-year sentence, but he struck a deal with the prosecutor, and he's pretty much naming names and snitching on the gang members in his crew to shorten that sentence to what looks like 5 to 10 years. I'm honestly pro snitching. If I'm looking at 47 years and I can reduce that shit to 5 to 10 based on naming a few names, I definitely do it because 47 years in prison is no joke. So I'm just gonna give some commentary on this. There's an interesting exchange between Remy Ma and the new chick on State of the Culture, Eboni, and it's pretty conflicting point of views. So yeah, check it out.
Somebody who is cooperating with the authorities
Publicly with the Daily News and the Post and all that.
I was going to say, full disclosure, privately, I just admitted it. I have walked side by side with men and women to federal prosecutors' offices, 5-hour testimonies, 10-hour testimonies, signed the paperwork, done the deal, bye. Publicly? Probably not, because I don't want the personal, and everybody deserves a defense, so I'm not saying, I don't think snitching is bad. I think there is a way to snitch and a way not to snitch. I think the publicness of what we're seeing with 6ix9ine is absolutely out of order.
There's a way to snitch.
I think,
enlighten us.
Oh,
what is the proper way to snitch?
Per me, privately. Per me, yeah. I mean, this is because Remy, no, but Remy, you just said it. You just said.
So I mean, there's a part of the culture that thinks all snitching is bad. Like I said, it's easy to pretend like snitching is bad when you're not facing a prison sentence. But when your lawyer is telling you you might do 40 to 47 years in prison unless you give out some information about your crew, what would you do in that situation if you could potentially reduce that sentence by 20 plus years? Because, guys, 47 years when you're fucking 20 years old, 30 years old, that's a lot of time. I don't think anyone is going to renege and be like, yo, I'm not snitching out of principle. I'm going to do this 47-year sentence, even though I could reduce it to 20. Like, it's easy to laugh. It's easy to laugh. It's easy to call 6ix9ine a snitch. But when you face that situation yourself, I think you'll be doing exactly what he's doing right now.
You just,
it's cool.
No, I didn't say that.
No,
I said it's socially accepted. I never
So
said
then you
it's cool.
totally can't be shocked
No,
when
I
you
don't-
hear shit like this.
But not
can't be
just-
shocked.
there's a way to snitch.
There is a way to
Do it
snitch.
privately.
If you're gonna do
But
the
Remy,
wrong
you
thing,
just said at your own mouth that at 22 years old, 47 years ain't no bullshit. That's your life. And so it's understandable that some people are going to make the decision to say, I would rather cooperate with your case. Like you said, you're going to get these motherfuckers anyway, truth be told.
Right.
So if in the process I can help myself by helping you, yeah, I'm game. So that's what I mean when I say that.
Can
That's
you
all.
or Rim
That's crazy.
explain to me how,
Is that crazy?
how five,
That's crazy to me because we're
How is it crazy to reduce your life sentence to 5 years, if possible, if you're looking at a 47-year sentence? Like, that's the dumb shit I'm hearing. That's the dudes that are calling him a snitch. That's what their logic dictates. And it's stupid because if you put them in this exact situation, they're doing what 6ix9ine's doing. They're just hypocrites.
was this energy when you was out here funding fucking guns and equipping
Oh, I'm not saying these
gangs?
people
actually, to me,
innocent.
to me,
These
that
people are
energy
criminals.
lines up.
Yeah, they're criminals.
They don't go apart. That's the same. He's out of his
Snitches
fucking.
aren't innocent.
Not even
They're
that.
criminals.
He's out of his mind. That's the bigger thing. He's out of his mind. The same thing that has him not believing in a code. The same thing has him thinking like, yo, if I'm funding this gang, I'm in the gang. Are you what?
the fact that this little nigga was able to infiltrate, and I use that word specifically, infiltrate. And proceed in the manner that in which he did.
Disgusting. It's just nasty work.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it had to be a sophisticated organization. It's just certain things. I'm not in a fucking gang, but it's just certain things that I wouldn't do. It's certain people, like when I'm around people, I'm not gonna talk about certain shit. It doesn't even have to be illegal shit. I'm not gonna have some random person that just started being around that I know is clout chaser, that I know that's trying to be there. I'm not talking certain shit around them. You're not gonna know where I live. You're not gonna be privy to certain information. The information that he was allowed to know, have just because he had a few dollars, was crazy. It was crazy. We all know he's like. Did you hear the audio when he was getting kidnapped? He was scared to, like, it was painful listening to it. He was, I'm scared. Why are you doing this to me? I give you money. I take it. Like, what?
Yo, it all makes sense to me. Like,
What?
none of those seem like they're
Why wouldn't anyone be scared when they're being kidnapped? Anyway.
betraying behaviors. They all feel like the same of someone of like low character and really just fucking around, but doing it to the max and doing it with a public audience. And that fucks you up as a person.
People are doing it right now as we speak.
Real quick, I'm not advising anybody to snitch. You got to do your own calculus, how much time. Because that's one thing I ask my clients.
So I'd advise people to snitch. If I'm looking at 47 years and I can reduce that shit to 20, snitch. Like, this being a fucking internet gangster, like, that's not cool. When you guys are actually facing these sentences, you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna snitch, and I wouldn't blame you. It's not a bad thing. If you want to reduce your sentence, then go ahead and do it.
How much time can you serve? Dead ass. Because if you can serve a lot of time, let's take it to trial. Let's do something else. That's a last resort, in my legal opinion. But it's the choice some people make. So if you're going to make it, this is what I would say. Privately as possible, if possible. Limit the scope of your testimony and be real specific about what you're getting in exchange directly. Quid pro quo. I'm going to give you this amount of names with this much involvement and this much eyewitness testimony in exchange for, in a perfect world, immunity, no time, time served. You really should not be trying to go back into gym pop after you have given that type of cooperation.
Can I get off of this couch while she's giving people advice and tips on how to fucking snitch? I feel like how y'all felt with Candace Owens. This how I feel like I do not belong on this couch right now. She is telling you how to snitch and y'all just sit here listening to it.
Because people
do
don't do it.
Yeah, it's an active part
Don't
of the
tell me,
legal
like,
system.
make sure you get, no time at all. Like, the fuck?
Are you serious?
Don't fucking do nothing. If you can't do no time and you don't do nothing,
Is that not what I
don't
just
do
said,
nothing.
though, Remy? I
Don't
said
do-
that.
No,
I literally
you
said
said
that.
how much
I said,
time
how
can
much time can you do?
That means you're already in court already.
Right.
I mean, don't do nothing, period. Stay a law-abiding citizen. Period.
well, that's ideal.
But
Like-
we all know that that's
Period.
not feasible.
Why?
Right? Because people
There's a
commit
plenty
crimes
there are
every
plenty-
day.
And there are plenty of people that never committed a crime in their lives.
But there's
and they're not
plenty
being
of people that
faced
do.
with they're not being faced with the decision, should I snitch or should I do the time? If you have to feel like when it comes to that's what you're gonna have to do, just don't do nothing, bro. Don't
but
act
see,
tough.
the
Don't act like you
nuance-
about that life. Don't act like you with the shits. Don't act like nothing. Just go work in a fucking library I don't fucking take bottles.
See, she's missing the complete point. If someone finds himself in this situation, obviously, I haven't had to struggle to make money in my life. I'm an engineer right now, so I haven't, I've never even turned to crime as a thought to live. But there are some people that they have no choice. They're born into that life. So if they find themselves in a situation where it catches up to them, and they're looking at a 47-year sentence, and they could reduce that sentence by 20 years if they're an informant, what are you advising them to do, Remy? You're advising them to take that 47-year sentence and not snitch because of some honor code, some bullshit code right now. That's not ideal. You need to, at this point, you need to at least tell people to not throw their lives away. If you can give some information to the law enforcement, then you should. That's just how I feel. I feel like, there's no code is not going to help you when you're sitting and rotting away in prison. It's not. You need to find a way to at the very least get out as soon as possible and then turn your life around. But anyway, moving on.
back to the store. I don't know what the fuck you do.
No,
something.
That's valid advice.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna let you.
Please,
I can't let the Candace Owens comment be out there though, because what I am doing, I feel very morally convicted around Remy, and you might disagree with it, and that's totally your right, But I feel it is very important to give people who find themselves by their own choices in these situations where they do have to make these choices about cooperating or not cooperating, going to trial, pleading guilty, what have you. That's why I went to law school. So I can best empower these people. Most of them look like us on this couch to make the decision that's best for them.
And
I feel
most of
very
the people
strongly
that
with
you're
that.
advising them on how to snitch on look like us too.
Yeah.
You see how you said you made a promise to yourself that you wouldn't sit there and bring down another woman, the XYZ. Like, I feel like when people go ahead and they snitching, Tekashi's not snitching on blue collar crime. He's not snitching on the people that's gonna own his masters and everything else for the rest of his fucking life, whether he's in jail or dead or anything else, and his daughter's not gonna get it. He's not snitching on them. He's snitching on the people that look like us, that come from where we come from,
they not have lawyers?
so that he can get out,
please,
and so that they
please
can
don't
go
reply
to
to
jail.
this.
And that's just that. And I can never sit there and condone that, like that, period. Like, okay, yeah, what makes his life and his freedom and his family more important than Shadi or any of the other people that he's
Nobody
telling
said
on?
that.
Everybody.
I mean, if it's coming from my perspective, if I'm the guy that's looking at this time, then yes, I consider my time more valuable than other people's times. That's how we are as humans. We're programmed to value ourselves more than others. So if I myself, I'm looking at 47 years, and I could get a lower sentence, I'd like to know how to get that lower sentence. So it's kind of crazy that Remy's trying to silence this chick for giving decent legal advice.
Relax. That's kind of the gray area that I'm getting from the debate that y'all are having now, Rem. I stand with you and your point of Shadi, Mel Murder, all these niggas, these are black brothers that look like us. I get that. So you're sitting on this couch telling the niggas that's not built for it to be law-abiding citizens and not snitch and don't tell. Albeit however unrealistic that may be, that's your stance. But when I hear it, how would he be incentivized? How would niggas be incentivized today, right? To not do exactly that, to be a law-abiding citizen. Let's look at the movie that just played out. The nigga that's not built like that, the nigga that has no business around the streets, gangsters, guns, crime, period, was able to build basically a, let's just throw a number, $100 million empire, send hits around, make a bunch of money, travel the world, and then at the end of it, just point the finger and be exonerated of it all. So while you giving instructions to the niggas that's not so street, I think the instructions should probably go to the niggas that's really about it, because we in this era where they the ones that's now being manipulated.
Why y'all talking to him? Why does he know anything? Why y'all doing anything? That was
my heart goes out to the street niggas that, you know, you're trying to make a way out of some circumstances that are beyond you, and now you're just manipulated by some of these kids who know the internet a little better.
Real quick. Let's say, for instance, if Tekashi would have got on the stand, right? And instead of going to the stand and naming Cardi and Kaz and all these other people, it's like, none of that happened. I only agreed to it because they made me do it. Shad never did this. Mel never did this. I don't know what they talking about. If he'd have went up there and said, we can't do everything and said, I was scared. They told me if I didn't say this, I would go to jail for 47 years. What would have happened if he would have did that?
Well, let me jump in. I read enough of the transcript to know that anytime that young man said anything that was outside of what was previously discussed, they shut him up. So they wouldn't have allowed him to continue with that point.
But I've seen that, though. I've seen witnesses agree to everything in the office, and then when they get on the stand, do exactly what Remy's describing, recant everything. All that happens is very simple. The judge says, I'm denying this whole plea deal arrangement, ripped up the paperwork, and now either Tekashi goes to trial himself and faces the 47 to life, like he would have anyway, or they maybe plead him down to 20 years, 25 years, and that's it.
But it would have definitely,
he gets no benefit.
But it would have fucked up the case that they had on everybody else.
Yes. So I just want to say this last point, because I hear you. That's what I'm saying. And
So
I'm
clearly
not.
he can't do that time.
Okay, then that was great. I do have to pee, but before I do that, Davies.
You're annoying. You need a comfort break.
And that's it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not on Remy's side regarding this. If you can get yourself out of a situation, you should. Obviously, like, I don't know the context of everyone's life. I can't justify people making bad decisions, but if you do find yourself in that situation where you're staring at a life sentence or you could get yourself out, I say look out for your best interest and fuck, this honor shit that people are on. And that's it. Peace, guys.
Yo, actually.